Bhagavat Nama,
Bhagavat Nama,
the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Mangalam,
Mangalam,
all auspicious.
all auspicious.
Translation. To the all auspicious chanting of the holy name of Lord Narayana. Purport. Those engaged in broadcasting the holy name of Narayana Krishna through the Krishna consciousness movement should always consider what our position was before we came and what it is now. We had fallen into abominable lives as meat eaters, drunkards, and woman hunters who performed all kinds of sinful activities. But now we have been given the opportunity to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Therefore, we should always appreciate this opportunity. By the grace of the Lord, we are opening many branches, and we should use this good fortune to chant the holy name of the Lord and serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. We must be conscious of difference between our present and past conditions and should always be very careful not to fall from the most exalted life. Om Abhyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksurunimiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadanchikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And verse one more time. Kvak chaham kitavaha papo brahmagno nirapatrapaha kvacha narayana tietat bhagavan namamangalam. Jamila continued, I am a shameless cheater who has killed his Brahminical culture. Indeed, I am sin personified. Where am I in comparison to the all-auspicious chanting of the holy name of Lord Narayana? Once again, the story of Ajamila show us that there is a proverb, every saint has a past and every sinner have a future. So even if you're a great sage right now, maybe you was a great sinner before, and it's mean that if you are sinner right now, you can't be saint in future. You just should make an effort, and by this effort you can be purified. For example, Valmiki Muni, he was a robber before he became a Valmiki. Actually, he was a killer, and he tried to kill Narada Muni. Once Narada Muni, passing by some forest, and this Valmiki attacked him. He take his knife and put it to the throat of Narada Muni. Give me your money. But Narada Muni, being a pure devotee of Krishna, do not afraid of Valmiki and start to preach to him. And by his influence, of Narada Muni, this Valmiki became great rishi. I remember once I was young brahmachari and we was traveling Sankirtan. We go from one city to another. I live in Khabarovsk city then, and we moved to another city, preach there. And I have a books, and I came to one apartment, ring the doorbell, and they open the door, invite me inside, and close the door. And on the day, I realized that actually there was a criminal. There was a 3 men in the apartment, and there was a criminal. They have a tattoo everywhere, Not tattoo like in modern fashion, some dragons, flies. No, in Russia, criminals have a tattoo that show in which prison you was, and what exact crime you committed. Everything in tattoo, It's just like open book. You can read the person, and in these criminal circles, you can't make a tattoo if you doesn't, go to the jail. They will ask you, why do you have this tattoo? You don't, commit this crime. And they can beat him, for that. It's just like an ID paper for criminals, this tattoo. So, and it was winter time, but, usually in Russia, during the winter time, it's very hot in apartments. And windows was opened, and the upper half was naked. So I saw this tattoo, and their faces, indicated that they are, criminals. And they use special criminal language like that. Some, criminals have their own language. So, and I've understood, that's the problem. And all of 3 of them, they wasn't drunk, They take something there, they have a vodka there. And, well, okay, sit here, they told me. And I have a glass of vodka. But I told, no, I don't drink because I'm a religious person. It's not allowed for me. They have pity on me, because I don't drink vodka. What to do? No problem, but okay, we take it. We take your glass also. Yeah, they was very drunk, and who are you? They asked me, I spent there about 20 minutes, and atmosphere was very intense. I told him about the books, and actually I was afraid. I was maybe, I don't know, 15, 16 years old, like that. And there was 40, 50, and very mature criminals. So I told them about the books and everything like that. And after 20 minutes, each of them buy the books. One by Bhagavad Gita, second guy by Nectar of Devotion, and third guy, I think he buy Krishna book. And then they opened the door and told me, you may go now. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. I'm not sure that they became a devotee. Sometimes it's happened, but when Narada Muni met this Valmiki, he made him a devotee. And Valmiki became great saint, Valmiki Muni, and Valmiki Muni wrote Ramayana, we know. It's not, Valmiki Muni became Shastrakara. Actually, it's very great position in Vedic culture, Shastrakara, one who makes Shastra. Every Shastra have Rishi who wrote the Shastra. Every Shastra have Devata or deity. And every Shastra have Chanda, this melody used to chant this Shastra. And before you study Shastra, you should offer your obeisances to Chanda, to deity, and to Rishi. For example, in Srimad-Bhagavatam, in the first canto, there's this verse, Narayanam namaskrityam narom cheva narottamam devim sarasvatim vyasam tato jayamudhirayat. Narayana Rishi is a deity of Srimad-Bhagavatam. Vyasadeva, of course, is a Rishi of Srimad-Bhagavatam, one who compiled Srimad-Bhagavatam. And Saraswati is a Shakti of Srimad-Bhagavatam. Srimad-Bhagavatam gives you Saraswati, blessings of Saraswati. Srimad-Bhagavatam gives you wisdom. And chanda are actually different. You can use different chanda in Srimad-Bhagavatam. Verses are very different in Srimad-Bhagavatam. So Valmiki was a criminal, but after he met Narada Muni, he became a great saint. So once again, every sinful person have a future. Prabhupada very often when some devotee fall down and then he return, Prabhupada often told to him and to another devotee, let's forget. Just continue. Let's forget. For example, there was a Madhudvisha Swami. He was a GBC for, I think, Australia and some other area. And he was great Kirtaniya. And he was very active devotee, very active sannyasi. And Srila Prabhupada valued him so much. But then he fell down. He ran away with some Mataji, Karmi Mataji, Karmi woman, and he also took some money from the temple for the first time, to start a new life like this. And Prabhupada, when Prabhupada heard this, he told one friend of Madhudvisha, who still have a connection with him somehow, with letters and phone calls. Prabhupada told him, tell to Madhudvisha, let him come back. Forget the money. Forget the woman. Let him be a grihastha, no problem. Let him come back. Give him another chance. And Srila Prabhupada gave this series of lecture about this chapter of 6th canto of Srimad-Bhagavatam about Ajamila, and we know we have a book, Second Chance. And in one lecture, Prabhupada said that Krishna always will to give second chance to any person. Yeah, you became a devotee, then you can fall down, but Krishna, no problem, second chance. Second chance, second chance. He always will to give second chance. And if we have some inclination for devotional service, Krishna always will appreciate it. Like in one lecture, Prabhupada said that Kali Yuga is an ocean of darkness. Everywhere is darkness. But if someone reveals some inclination for devotional service, it's just like, spark in the darkness. Little light in the darkness. And actually, if everywhere is darkness, even little bit spark of life, you can see it very nicely. So if in the heart of inhabitant of Kali Yuga there is even little inclination for devotional service, Krishna will see it and will appreciate it. And in another commentary, Srila Prabhupada said that desire of Krishna to bring us back to spiritual world bigger than our desire to came to him. And when we make one step towards Krishna, he make 1,000 steps toward us. We never should think that I am progressing in spiritual life. No, actually, Krishna is progressing towards me. He running, I forget this word. When we are crawl towards Krishna, he running toward us, In Kali Yuga, our spiritual life, yeah, sometimes we can compare it to crowd. It's very, very slowly, very slowly, and so many times we not fall down, but we are asleep, slide to left or to right side. We are very indirect in our spiritual life. Yeah, today I'm a brahmachari. After a week, I'm going to home, and after another week, I'm again brahmachari. Our spiritual path is like that sometimes, very indirect. But Krishna running toward us very directly. He sent us Srila Prabhupada, spiritual master, prasadam, books, internet. Krishna sent us, and we can use internet. And there is so much is in internet. We can take it and use it in our spiritual life. So many lectures. For example, I subscribe for so many channels on YouTube. Bhanu Swami channel, and every day they, have some new lectures there of Bhanu Swami. Hridayananda Das Goswami also. There is a Bhaktivedanta Academy channel when Bhaktivedanta Purna Maharaj gives some lectures on Mahabharata and so on. Every day, Atmarama, not Atmarama, the disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he lives in America. No. I forget his name right now. Mahatma Prabhu, yeah. Also have his channel, small, short videos, very, wisdom surcharge videos. So every day, whole day you can hear it, the whole day. So many opportunities Krishna gives to us. It means that he desires more to bring us back than we desire to. His desire is much more bigger. And of course, Srila Prabhupada here said that we should be very humble. Do not forget our previous life. Actually, when I remember my life before I became a devotee, there was nothing Mangalam there. Mangalam is auspicious. I can see nothing Mangalam there. But I became a devotee when I was 14, and actually I left the school for it, for being a devotee, for moving to the temple. And I remember it was a history class, and just in the middle of this history class, I woke up and go away. I told to my teacher, "Do svidaniya," farewell, goodbye, and go away. Because somehow, I just have this feeling, what is all about? It's just useless. I don't see anything Mangalam, anything auspicious for me. Only when I get Bhagavad Gita, Japa, I have this feeling, here, by this I can make my life auspicious. Because if I don't have spiritual practice, then what would I do? Eating, sleeping. When I was 14, I don't think about mating. And there was lots of defending in my life. And when you're a young boy, or young girl, there's lots of defending in your life. Bullying, in school, bullying in a courtyard, near to home, and so on. And also, in your own mind, you bully yourself sometimes. You're useless. One moment. You have this acne on your face, yeah. You're ugly. It's always like that in our mind when you're a young boy or young girl. a very inauspicious life. And when I became a devotee, I really feel that so many auspicious things in my life now I have. Very pure way of life. I don't eat anyone anymore. Thank God. I feel that I have very auspicious sound around me right now, because devotees do not bull themselves. They don't use these bad names, and they don't criticize themselves. It was very usual in the school, bullying and criticizing and using bad names, but devotees don't do this. This association is very auspicious. The sounds around me is very auspicious. Food is very auspicious. It's very tasty, and really you don't need to eat anybody. And this food is very tasty, very good. After it, I feel that I'm happy when I take this food, and so on, so on, so on. My way of life became very auspicious. So that's what Ajamil talking about here. Bhagavan Namamangalam. With Krishna consciousness, all auspiciousness came to our life. But we should never forget about past life. We should afraid of past life. Sometimes devotees became, reckless. Yeah, they don't fear anymore. Don't fear Maya anymore. When you stop to fear Maya, Maya will come to you. Maya have your phone number. She never forget it. You are in her phone book, And when you became reckless, when you became careless in spiritual life, she will call you. Yeah, hello, how are you there? I see you're not very happy in spiritual life. Come to me. Let's try again. Sometimes, there is they call it toxic interaction, toxic association, toxic family life, when women and men, bullying each other, criticizing each other, but they can't separate it. Somehow or other, they they have this toxic dependence on each other. So this is a position of soul in Maya. Toxic dependence. We understand that Maya beating us, that Maya are making us unhappy, but somehow we depended on her. Somehow. And spiritual life give us this opportunity to be freed of this dependence, to have non-toxic life, we can say. Devotee have a chance to have non-toxic life. So verse 35. Soham tataya tishyami yata chitendriya nilaha yatha na bhuya atmanam andhe tamasi madjaye. I'm such a sinful person, but since I have now gotten this opportunity, I must completely control my mind, life, and senses, and always engage in devotional service so that I may not fall again into the deep darkness and ignorance of material life. Purport. Every one of us should have this determination. We have been elevated to an exalted position by the mercy of Krishna and the spiritual master. And if we remember that this is a great opportunity and pray Krishna that we will not fall again, our life will be successful. Yeah, here Jamila gives this, wow, I will never fall down again. Krishna will give me this second chance. Krishna, give me this second chance and I will never fall down again. Once again, everyone, no matter how sinful you are, you have second chance. You have a second chance. By sadhana, by prasadam, by devotee association, you can be freed from your past karma. One of the way that our past karma, shown in our life, it's our mentality, our frame of thinking. For example, you can take alcohol addicted person. He has a very special frame, very special mentality. He always think about alcohol, always think about how he can get rid of all problem by taking alcohol. And if you have a drug addicted person, he also has some frame of mind. But even if a drug addicted person take Krishna consciousness, he can change his mindset. And that what means he changed his karma. In this material world, there is not so many ways to change our mindset, actually. Psychologists try to do this, but very often they are not so successful in it. Schizophrenia and so many bipolar disorders, there's so many problems, psychological problems. And actually, psychologists sometimes told that we can do anything, but actually it's not. It's very hard to change person mindset. But if you just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you're beginning to be much more enthusiastic, much more happier, just by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then you're taking prasadam, even more happy. And day by day, by this sadhana that Srila Prabhupada give to us, chanting, associating with devotees, participating in kirtan, taking prasadam, and so on, day by day, we became happier and happier. All our mindset is changing. Our karma is changing. Because when our mindset is changing, you do not commit the deeds as you did before. For example, if you are alcohol addicted, you always think about alcohol and you will take it because you're always thinking about it. But then when you became a devotee, your mindset changed and you don't think about alcohol anymore. So you don't drink. That's how karma changed in devotee's life. First, we change our mindset, and then these previous bad habits just fall apart, fall away from us. Just like the dirty thing when you're taking shower, you just fall and wash it away. You don't have to make separate, I forget this word. Effort, yeah. You don't make the separate effort to get rid of alcohol addiction or something like that. You should just take sadhana. And this bad habit will go away. Because your mindset will be changed by sadhana and by devotional practice. That's an interesting thing. But for a first time, for beginning time, we should give this wow, because past habits, will bring us back first years of devotional practice. Maya will use our previous bad habits like a rope to pull us down, pull us back. So we should tolerate it for the first time. We should tolerate it, But then from day to day, it will be easier and easier not to come back to the Maya. So we should give this vow. Yeah. I'm a pure soul by the nature, but somehow I became a cheater, killer, and so on. But now I am give this vow. Krishna gave me second chance. I will take it seriously. Like Jamila do here. And verse 35. Soham tathat, verse, we already did. Verse 36, 37. Vimuchya tam imam badham, avidya kama karmajam, sarva bhuta sukritchanto, maitraha karunatmavan. Mochaye grastamatmanam yosim mayatma mayaya. Vikridito yaya ivaham krida maraga ivadhamam. Because of identifying oneself with the body, one is subjected to desires for sense gratification, and thus one engaged in many different types of pious and impious action. This is what constitutes material bondage. Now I shall disentangle myself from my material bondage, which has been caused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead's illusory energy in the form of woman. Being a most fallen soul, I was victimized by the illusory energy and have become like a dancing dog led around by a woman's hand. Now I shall give up all lusty desires and free myself from this illusion. I shall become a merciful, well-wishing friend to all living entities and always absorb myself in Krishna consciousness. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This should be the standard of determination for all Krishna conscious persons. A Krishna conscious person should free himself from the clutches of Maya, and he should also be compassionate to all others suffering in those clutches. The activities of the Krishna consciousness movement are meant not only for oneself but for others also. This is the perfection of Krishna consciousness. One who is interested in his own salvation is not as advanced in Krishna consciousness as one who feels compassion for others and who therefore propagates the Krishna consciousness movement. Such an advanced devotee will never fall down, for Krishna will give him special protection. That is the sum and substance of the Krishna consciousness movement. Everyone is like a play toy in the hands of the illusory energy and is acting as she moves him. One should come to Krishna consciousness to release oneself and also to release others. Interesting point that when we read Prabhupada books, Prabhupada letters about sadhana, he very often say that preaching is a part of sadhana. And if you do not preach, then actually your sadhana is not complete. 16 rounds, it's part of sadhana. Prasadam, which reading books, and in the temple we have a morning program, evening program. That's sadhana, no doubt. But Prabhupada also told that if you not preach, your sadhana is not complete. And here he said that one who preach never fall down. Because Krishna will give him special protection. Krishna protect every devotee, but when you preach, Krishna will give you special protection. And sometimes preachers may seem fall down for some time, but they will return again. They will come back. And because preaching gives you a special taste in spiritual life. If you have this preaching experience, then you will have very sweet taste in devotional service. Because when you see that another person became a devotee, and when you are this, Krishna arm in this, Krishna use you to make someone a devotee. Actually, it's very special feeling. very special feeling that you have a very intimate connection with Krishna. So preaching is a very intimate service to Krishna. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said that those who preach are very dear to me. No, he used the word very, very dear to me. He said it twice, they really dear to me. Because this is a deep desire of Krishna, deepest desire of Krishna to return these fallen souls to him. And if you are helping Krishna in this service, then you develop very intimate association with Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. And we know, Srila Prabhupada was very happy when devotees distribute books and preach. For example, it was very rare when Srila Prabhupada put his feet on the head of any devotee. It's very rare. But there was one devotee, Bhakti-tirtha Swami. He distributes books and he has his own group for book distribution, and he distributes lots of books. And once he came to Prabhupada and gave his report, and Prabhupada stood up, he embraced Bhakti-tirtha, and then he put his feet on his head and told to Bhakti-tirtha Swami, in this life you will see Krishna. That's my blessings to you. And as far as I know, Bhakti-tirtha Swami was only not Indian devotee who saw Jagannath. Somehow he, managed to go to the temple in Jagannath Puri. And also we know that there was a Tamal Krishna Goswami who also was very dear to Prabhupada, because Tamal Krishna Goswami actually organized, he was first person who organized book distribution. He made uniform for book distributors, and he has this Radha Damodar traveling party. So many buses was there, and they even have a Radha Krishna deity in the bus. And there was a very high standard of worship. Very interesting. Vayasati Prabhu wrote a book about this Radha Damodar Sankirtan party. I don't know the name of this book. It's about Radha Damodar, something like that. It's very, very nice book. If you find it, you can read it. It will be very inspiring to preaching. And Prabhupada also, he was a preacher, from the top of his head to the tongue. He was a preacher, and he always, even if the verse is not about preaching, but in commentary, he will say something about the importance of the preaching. Because this is a very important service to inspire other, living entity to become a devotee. It means that you give great joy to Krishna. If you inspire other devotee, other person, other soul to remember his association, remember his contact with Krishna and became Krishna devotee again, Krishna will be very happy with you. And he will give you special protection and special taste in spiritual life. Hare Krishna, maybe some comment or question. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
You mentioned that Maya is testing us, our past habits and past karma and this. I can notice it so clearly when I go in the city center of Helsinki, especially alone when I go there.
Mm-hmm.
Maya is trying to do everything that.
Therefore, I always use earphones.
Yeah.
Always. When I was a young brahmachari, the first thing that I buy when I was a brahmachari, get some money, I buy this cassette player.
Yeah.
This time we have a cassettes. We don't have a MP3 like that. We have a cassettes, and I, have a bunch of it. So many seminars, kirtan, and so on. And when I go to the Maya, I usually use it, and it's mean that you're not alone.
Yeah.
So use it.
Yeah.
If you have a time, listen.
Yeah. But there is nice opportunity to see how mind works, and we are not that mind, but there is everything like. And if we chant, we can see that. Okay, I'm not that mind. I'm something bigger, but there is some huge stir between me and
A real understanding of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should hear, because hearing is the basis process for spiritual advancement. First we have Shravanam, then Kirtanam, then Smaranam. You don't have you will not have Smaranam, I mean remembrance about Krishna, if you don't have a Shravanam. So Shravanam first, and Smaranam automatically came, if there is a good Shravanam. So here Srila Prabhupada, and Smaranam will come. You will not forget if you hear. Yeah, sometimes Smaranam about Maya came, but it's mean that Shravanam is not enough. Our Shravanam is not so good. We should hear more. But still, there is a Maya, but actually we must go there to see how they're suffering in Maya and try to help them. It's like a battlefield, no doubt, like a battlefield. And we are a soldier of Krishna. And if we go to battlefield, Krishna will give us, how to say, reward. Preacher always gets reward. So yeah, there is a Maya inside, outside. There is a Maya, but this is not a reason that we shouldn't go from the temple, because if you stay in the temple, we can understand that there is a Mayan temple also. Yeah. Eating, sleeping, eating, sleeping, eating, sleeping. They may be a Mayan in the temple also. Yeah. So at least there we can see Maya, in the face.
Yeah.
Here is it.
Yeah. We can see
directly.
Our heart.
But here Maya may, have some subtle forms.
Yeah.
And cheat us. One was a translator of one darshana between spiritual master and disciple, and spiritual master for half an hour he tried to convince his disciple to go away from the temple and preach. And disciples tell him, there is a Maya outside here. I'm protected by Krishna, but spiritual master tell him, it's mean that you're already in Maya. You do not preach. Therefore, you are already in Maya. You already have been cheated. You fool. Maya already cheat you because you don't go to preaching. That means you're in Maya already. Yes, you chant your holy name and so on, but you are in Maya. Very subtle, but you're in Maya. You don't go to preaching. You don't see the suffering, and you don't have any compassion to these people, to these souls there. Not only people. You don't see how they're suffering. And even if you see how they're suffering, you don't feel compassion. You're not a Vaishnava, Wake up. He was very harsh to him, actually. Wake up. I'm your guru. I should, be very harsh to you. Wake up. You're in Maya. Go away. Just today, you should go away from the temple with the books and some prasadam and try to distribute it. And you will see how they're suffering. And you will value Krishna consciousness more. Now you're just hiding from your spiritual duty. You're in Maya. Yeah, it's very inspiring for me. Yeah, Maya is there, but it's not the reason not to go. Yeah, it's our battlefield. You don't have a medal if you don't go to the battlefield. You don't get it. Yeah. If you want to have a medal from Krishna, you should go to the battlefield, and Krishna will give it to you. Okay, Grantaraj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.
Vedanta Prabhu ki jai.
Krishna.